First and foremost, welcome to quite possibly the biggest karate collab the internet has ever seen.
Ever.
What we're going to talk about is everything you can imagine, the stuff that makes your karate way better than everybody else's karate. Let's be honest.
Let's do it, baby.
First off, it's very important. We both just everybody here recognizes sidekicks don't work.
Yes,
of course.
Oh yes, 100%.
I'd love to hear. Okay. Yeah. So now that I'm freshly battered, I'm like right before you start mixing everything in. No, that's after. I don't bake. Okay. So hook kicks. You throw your hook kicks different than traditional karate people throw their hook kicks. Do you notice a difference, like when you see it and when you throw it?
In power-wise, yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Right.
You know, and I have different types of hook kicks I use. So you have the one that whiffs in front of your face and gets your opponent saying like, what the heck just happened?
Sure.
And that's usually first round sesh, you know. And when you have somebody do that and you're not used to seeing that in your own gym, and somebody whiffs a hook kick and doesn't even see it coming, it kind of wakes them up a little bit.
Big eyes, right.
So it kind of keeps them at bay, especially when you got an aggressive guy.
Yeah. See, his whiff was the side of my head, and
you hurt my hamstring on that.
Did you hear that?
He hurt me.
I heard him. That's my thumbnail. I heard one.
dude, that would be sick.
No, I don't want to put that in there because
that would be cool.
When's your fight?
I don't have one. I don't have one coming up. I ended up breaking both my hands in my last fight, so just letting them heal up right now. And ended up pulling my hamstring Monday, so trying not to kick. It's very difficult not to kick. I had to hit you at least one kick.
I remember.
But it was.
I don't remember much after that.
I regret it. I regret it now. But yeah, so I have different types of hook kicks I use. I have a more powerful one, which is more of the glute instead of the snapping.
It looks like it pushes more.
Right, right. And I use that I use the back of my heel for this one.
Right.
The chamber and the extension, the regular karate hook kick, I'll use it to drop somebody's guard. I'll use it to kind of slap their face. It looks good in the judge's eyes as well.
Sure, yeah.
But I also use it to turn their head, so that way when I set my foot down,
boom.
I come afterwards with my hands.
Okay. Gotcha.
The only thing you got to watch out for on the hook kick is if you got somebody who sees a lot, they can jam it. So you got to be ready to either, like I have my go-tos if that happens. You got to spin back fist, either I'll step back and side kick, but I'm always leaning far to keep away from my head. If you notice,
your hip is inside of your foot every time.
If you notice, whenever you throw a kick, I just do this, right?
Sure.
We condition our body. I don't mind getting kicked in the body. What I don't want is getting kicked in the face.
Sure.
I mean, just a little bit of a... You kicked me in the head right there. I don't remember the last time I've been kicked in the head.
Chubby surprise.
It doesn't take much, especially with a kick, to knock you out.
Right.
So when I spar and I see a leg come up, I'll sit there and I'll just do this. Now, you know, they see the body, so that's why they always go for the body. I don't mind it.
Yeah, right.
But, you know, I'll raise this. You were throwing a lot of head kicks, but you see me do this. I don't recommend you guys doing that. If you see, don't do this.
My hands you're not just sitting on it either.
Right.
You're moving with it. I'm assuming feet come up a little bit as it make contact and kind of use it to bounce back.
Right.
Team up.
Right. Okay, perfect. That's money. I like talking with guys like you.
Yeah.
Because, you know, me, for instance, I talk to people who don't know the game.
Yeah.
You know, they're around it, but they've never sparred. They've never been into it.
Yeah, right.
So you get the same questions. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
This is fun. I like talking with other martial artists. Come on over here, FaZe, baby. I also use my feints and my little that constant pressure to try and tire you out.
You're never not using feints.
Right. Always.
It's like you go and it's just.
Which means you have to stay on guard at all times.
I was like,
it's very mentally draining.
Right. And physically too, because you're flinching, you're not making a whole lot of movement, but those little movements add up and you start to tire out.
There's very small movements too.
Right.
It's nothing exaggerated or...
There's one very specific sequence that I can like replay it, where you're just like this, and I go like this, and I throw up every guard I possibly can, and I'm like, wow, okay, I just did all that for nothing.
Right.
He's still there.
You're just touching them, right? There's nothing loaded. It's just
that's the thing.
Using your weight, using momentum to drive forward.
And I tell my guys this too, you know, not every punch has to be your hardest. It's the ones that, the occasional hard techniques are the ones that actually do the damage. So I'll just go pop, 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 pop. I'll get them frustrated, and then pop, boom, and then I'll land hard, right?
And what's really cool about your movement is if you watch it, there's not like a ton of extra movement. It's very fluid from like here, there.
Just very
like
little.
Your hip goes forwards this much, and boom, bang. And it's fun to watch how it coils up through the body and then extends. And it's like you're not like haymakering. You're not pivoting a ton.
Right.
You're using like basic body mechanics.
Right.
You're like boop.
And those are the small things that I think, you know, karate, it's a slower process. Yep. But you're more you work more on those little small details than any other fight sport.
Right.
You know, in MMA, they're trying to learn everything really fast, and they miss a lot of those small details.
Yep.
In karate, you start at white belt, and you go through all the rankings, but you're learning those little and that's why I like kata. I love doing katas, man. Yeah. And that's another thing.
I grew up tricking and doing kata.
Dude, tricking is the best, bro.
That's what I grew up doing,
used to, man. I tell you, this dude could do a double back, a double full. Could. And I used to trick. I do occasional stuff if I knock somebody out.
I know you corked after one of your fights.
Yeah, it was my first. That one in Robert Whitaker.
That was the fight. I remember when I watched. I remember I was like, oh, who's this Wonderboy guy? Which fight? Who was that?
It was my first one. It was Dan Stigen when I knocked him out in the first round. I did a cork.
Was that the 1-2 and then the
Moneymaker?
I remember watching that, and that's when I was like, that was so smooth off the front, like back, same side, punch the kick. You didn't see that a lot, right? It's always alternate, right? Sorry, left, right, left, right. 1, 2,
always back and
left,
forth.
right, and then you corked, and that was it. So I was like mid tricking. I'm like, this is my guy. Right? And then now, I wasn't even doing YouTube then.
You were?
You weren't.
Wow.
I wasn't YouTube, and then the FaZe thing, and then now I'm here, man.
Now, how'd you? First off, it's very important. We both everybody here recognizes sidekicks don't work.
Yes,
of course.
Oh, yes, 100%.
I'd love to hear your comments about how they do, because I mean, everybody here is very ill-informed.
Well, if you watched, you hit me with several sidekicks out there today, which I was like, and you did too. So I'm like, these guys there's meant to be. These guys should be here.
Yeah.
Okay, so for one, sidekick's definitely my favorite kick. It's definitely my favorite kick.
And you throw your sidekick different than I do. I think a little bit different than you do, where your knee is lower.
I chamber, right.
Yeah.
And the reason that is because, we're a karate school, and, we see sidekicks on a daily basis, right?
Yep.
And the reason I do that is some schools teach it different. There's nothing wrong with that. Some guys use sidekicks and set it up differently, and to your style. So I actually have my foot up first, and my mindset with that is if I pick my knee up first, there are guys here that are fast enough that can jam it.
Yeah,
they'll
absolutely.
jam it. You know. So I'll have and that's what I love to do.
Yeah.
Guys will lift their leg up first, and I'll just go in with my hip and pop, I'll close the gap on them.
Yeah.
But I stand a really sideways stance. So it makes it easier for me to just lift the foot. And if I lift the foot, it's like me. I discussed in one of my sidekick channels. It's like me. If I stick a sword at you, you cannot walk forward. You'll kill yourself. You'll stab yourself, right? So my heel, I pick up first, and that's my sword. Right. Even if you close the gap, I can still push myself away. Right. But it does, you've been hit with a sidekick. It doesn't take but 4 or 5 inches to really do some damage on a sidekick.
Right. And what's really cool about that too is if I pointed a sword at the camera right now, they wouldn't know how far away that sword is.
Right.
The depth perception is very hard to tell when it's just a straight line heel at you.
Right.
And also peripherals, like most of the time we're like, I don't know about you guys, I look at like this, the center chest
right here,
and it sneaks underneath too, especially when you don't see the knee first. It's just a foot right there.
And I did that against Rory McDonald like crazy. I knew the sidekick was just going. And if you watched it, that was more of a stabbing sidekick. I did it to be annoying, to keep them away. So I mean, very rarely do you see guys getting knocked out with sidekicks. I mean, there's a few guys out there that do sidekicks to the head and knock dudes out, but I do it to be annoying. And after a few rounds, it starts to do some damage.
Yeah,
right. I remember after the fight with Rory, man, he could barely sit up straight. He couldn't do it.
Yeah, right.
From the sidekicks. Yeah, man. Ooh, and even if they block it, I don't care.
I just said that the other day.
I'll sidekick the hip in a fight. If I can hit you in that hip, bro, your movement goes out the window.
Yeah, and that's great for you because you come in so often after it. When you drop that hip back, that head comes forwards. And I feel like every time I see it, you go hip, and then they sit down, and they're like, "Oh, I'm stuck."
Yeah, I'm coming in. And I'm coming in.
Right.
My coach went down there and sparred with him a bit, and there was one thing he was trying to do. He did it with Coach. I was wanting to see if he did it with you, but he was trying to elbow
my foot
on the side.
My foot,
right on top.
Well,
my coach came back like with a big bruise.
It didn't really land. One of the things I try and do, I try and hit with my heel. Or I try and go up underneath the elbow. I hit him with a few sidekicks. I think it was more of was it the first fight or second fight?
That's what I can't remember.
Second fight, I landed a lot of sidekicks. The first fight, I landed a lot of sidekicks. The second fight,
I feel like it was the first.
It was more of I expected him to be more aggressive.
Yeah.
He expected me to be more aggressive. So we were like at a stalemate. We're like waiting on each other. So it wasn't a whole lot.
Like
thrown.
Mike Perry would say.
Right. It's exactly, man.
I know.
It's funny when he said that, I started cracking up. But I think it was the first one. I didn't get hit with an elbow, and of course I throw a lot of side kicks here, so I guess my
right.
foot's a little
Yeah,
conditioned
right.
for it because I'm constantly.
And you're aiming with
if
the
I
heel,
took
'cause
X-rays
I hit
with my
right
feet,
here. I hit the
dude, this is the
bone right here.
worst.
That's how we
I hit it right
teach
now.
to defend against
Yeah,
is
right.
the elbow.
Yeah,
Same thing.
Sneak it in.
So
Yeah.
because of that, we're trying to do it, but I never worked with you.
And that's the thing. So if you like, some guys will blade the foot like this, right? This right here will break easy, and
easily.
it's super painful.
Yeah.
Right.
So I'll hit with just the bottom of the
You just
heel.
really
Are
concentrate.
you
Right.
going toes down a little bit?
Yeah,
Okay,
always.
gotcha.
And the reason, if your toes are up, you're not turning your body enough. You're not using your glute, right?
Yep.
So the glute is where the power comes from. So all that mechanism work makes that
leg
cycle.
muscle.
The leg muscle.
My leg muscle.
So, but there are different sidekicks I have. Like my more powerful sidekick, I turn more. My stabbing sidekick, I don't turn as much.
And you have an entering sidekick too.
Yeah.
Where I'm assuming hips a little bit more in, so you're kind of coming in and then hip square for your blitz.
Right. So when I do a sidekick, if this is my planting foot, my hip needs to be on the inside of that foot.
Okay.
If it's straight over top or off to the side, you're going to end up pushing yourself back, or you're going to lose balance.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
I see guys do that all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So either, and that's another reason why I have a wide stance. So all I need to do is pick my foot up. If you close the gap, I just pick my foot up. My hips are already in position in front of my foot, and I stab it.
Yeah, right.
Right.
That's something that people miss, because when they throw the side kicks, they never are making contact or pushing with it.
Right.
Like a lot of the guys who throw side kicks are karate guys who are working on like the snap of it.
Yeah.
And they work that snap of it, and then their hip is over top of their foot. So if they actually connect, they're throwing themselves over.
Yeah, 100%.
So that makes sense how
Yeah.
your hips inside.
And the slide up, a lot of the slide up.
Yep.
Sidekick, the whole sidekicks don't work. The sidekick that really works really good is just a skipping one, the one you can just pick it up and fire it out.
You know, you see that in point fighting a lot.
yes.
Johnny Hendricks, man. I hit him with a sidekick, boom, drove him back, lift my foot up. He thought I was going to sidekick again, and I round kicked him in the face. And then he just dropped his hands. He's like, "That's when I knew I had him. That's when I knew I had him."
Guys, you make it hard for guys to commit. It's not like they're just being tentative. You're making it hard for them to find a way in.
Yeah,
'Cause
right.
if you're used to finding people, you're just naturally like, okay, I'm gonna see a way in. But then it's like, wait.
Yeah.
Like I was like, when I was sparring, I was like, he's still like, still there.
There's no pattern. It's not methodical.
Right.
It's very hard to predict.
Well, one of the things, then they really start to shut down.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
They
I
don't
was
know
like,
when it's coming.
what happened? I was like, oh wait, I was canceling out here.
Yeah.
But I keep a distance to where you feel threatened, but you can't hit me. Like it's a far enough
Yeah,
distance. You
that
have
feels
you
very
have
accurate.
like deceptively long arms. Like where does your reach?
I know.
74 or 6. I don't know.
Okay, we got about the
Well,
same
his
reach.
is 75, so I would assume yours is longer than
You're
his.
yeah.
Because
You
when we
got
did
it.
the boxing, we're similar height. I was like,
Yeah, you got some long arms. I didn't expect that. And which is really good. I mean, when you hit me the lead hand hook. I was like, motherfucker.
oh yeah. So what did you like for me?
Oh yeah, that's a
Oh,
good
yeah,
question.
okay.
I wanted you
Okay.
to break it down so we could just stretch the ego a little
You were
bit.
the first guy I sparred with, so I'm gonna talk to you first.
By the way, I'm a lefty, and I fight left lead.
But you switched sides though, right? You
A
were
little bit,
switching
yeah.
sides.
I did, yes.
And which I expect that from most karate guys, which I love that. If you switch sides, the more weapons you can have in your arsenal.
Yes, sir.
I've seen a lot of guys take a lot of leg kicks and not used to switching sides, and they just get crushed, right? So, and then that's one of the reasons why I don't take as much damage to my legs. I got guys, Muay Thai guys, trying to crush my
that's
legs,
usually
right?
their first option, right?
So, and I'll show you something that I do with that. But still, but it was your kicks and your timing, which was really good. When I blitzed in, you sat down where you were throwing strikes.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing. I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna be able to reset and hit you. I know that.
No,
Timing
So
coming in.
when he moves, I gotta just throw 2 punches straight.
Right.
One straight, one hook, and hopefully the thing lands.
Well, check this out. You're taking that from T. Wood's book, because that's what he did. That's what he
sat
crushed
down on
with in
it,
the
right.
4th round.
Yeah.
Hit me twice with it. I'm like, mother trucker. Like nobody. Normally they don't do that. You know, I had him backing up. I didn't expect him just to sit down, man. I ran right into it. Boom! Thank goodness I was blessed with a hard head. Yeah, I mean that was perfect. Now you had good timing, good side kicks. I like the fact that you switch sides because that throws people off.
Yes.
I'll come out in the fight one side forward. Next round I'll switch sides. Just when they think they got you figured out, you switch. And I got things I do better right side than I do left side.
Right.
But still, he doesn't know that, right?
Yes,
My
I
brother
do.
doesn't know that. And that's what kind of surprised me with you.
Chubby surprise.
You know, you see this guy over here, you know, big guy, kind of reminds me of my bro, Tony. thicker than most.
This is muscle.
It's
Yeah,
straight
right.
muscle.
We're talking
We
about-
don't expect you to lift your leg up like that.
Very agile.
Or even move.
Very
Right?
agile.
Yeah.
I mean, that was very surprising. See, brother, that was very surprising, which is awesome. I mean, when guys look at you, which I love it. I don't look like a fighter outside of here, right?
Yeah.
People think I'm just like a little, I don't know, nerd. I don't know.
Definitely pansy.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Very
But they
feminine.
don't expect it.
Yeah.
So
Right, right, right.
therefore, in a street situation, you always have the advantage.
Sure. Yeah. Right.
You know, they don't see that leg coming up and smoking you in the head.
Yeah.
Like you hit me with a hook kick. I'm like, I don't remember the last time somebody hit me with a hook kick. I don't remember the last time somebody. Oh, shut it. I don't remember the last time somebody hit me with a hook kick.
It was just,
Bro, that was great. That was good. Well, it was just then. I got to set back the numbers. Go back to 0.
days since
Since I got last hit with a hook kick.
Well,
But-
we were sparring and he hit me with one. I was like, God, I keep, because same thing. Like nobody hits me in the head with a hook kick. Isaiah can hit me in the head with a hook kick or roundhouse kick. So he did in the first round, and I was like, God, gotta keep that hand up. And then sure enough, we go, and I was like, pop those.
That was the end of my kicking. That was the end of my kicking.
I know.
Man, I ended up.
It's that
freaking-
neck strength.
Oh my god,
So
that's exactly
I
what it was.
actually attacked it.
Oh my gosh,
We
my
were
neck
setting
is-
this up. He's like, my hamstrings.
My
kick
hand,
it.
my
I'm not gonna be able to
hamstrings.
kick.
Oh, it's
Whack.
so hard not
It's like
to.
nice and chill.
I was out.
So if you got any sort of value out of this, any at all, I mean like, if there was a moment where you went, like that's it, subscribe. And if you don't subscribe, he'll beat up your parents.
That's right.
He'll take care of any cousins.
I got
And
you.
if you don't subscribe, I will
He's
kick
taking
you.
you out.
Ooh,
With ease.